Hi, and welcome to the online mentoring program walkthrough. This is a demonstration of the online mentoring program, how to register, how to use the program, and we will provide you some details about how to access that. So welcome, and we will get started. The Utah Online Mentoring Program is available for people who are staff, employment staff of Utah Community Rehabilitation Programs who have received the ACRE certificate in customized employment from Griffin-Hammis and Associates. This is the specific customized employment certificate that ACRE has approved, and you will have received that either through in-person training in Utah, or you may have received your certificate through the online certificate program. Another issue you would need to have to have met is that you would be chosen by one of the School to Work program participants in Utah. These would be from the new project sites for 2018-19, which is Provo, Wasatch, or Spectrum, and for any new students who may be from some of the older sites, and I will bring that up on a later screen. So just be aware that if you are chosen for any of the students, it is expected that you will use this mentoring program, even if you have already been involved with Griffin-Hammis in the past and have received training and have had your work accepted. We want this to be the process to be used for any new student, even if you are already a seasoned person. Other people who might be participating in this program are all the Utah DSPD project sites. So you might be working with adults instead of with the students. If you are new to delivering customized employment and are receiving some on the boots on the ground technical assistance on site, or you're just a new staff person not working with the School to Work program, we want you to use this project site. And then for all of you who will be using this program, you will also be receiving on-site technical assistance from one of us Griffin-Hammis associates. It would be either Ashley Lance, Doug Crandall, or myself, Patty Cassidy. So these are the reasons why you might be involved in this program. The reason we decided to develop this program and to begin using this was it would help us with a better means of tracking discovery and its process and when it's being completed. It seemed that it was taking some lengthier time than we would hope and expect, so we wanted to make sure that you were getting immediate support and feedback so that you would be able to move more quickly through the discovery process. We hope that this was going to provide you some quicker turnaround. Obviously giving you 12 weeks to complete the program is much longer than what we'd expect. We typically think discovery can be completed within 2 to 6 weeks, but this allows us to have the interface exchange back and forth to ensure that the quality of the written document as well as the process is being completed correctly. You will be given some written guidance and feedback each step of the way. So as you upload each stage of the discovery staging record, you will be given some written feedback from your mentor, Doug, Ashley, or myself, and you will have that written notation so that you can alter or change your course of action or to modify and make your product more clear. We expect that you will give more timely feedback rather than just waiting for the on-site technical assistance. It certainly doesn't prevent you from making a phone call or sending an email. We certainly want to meet you when you need us, so please don't just think this is the only method, but realize that this is intended to give you some more timely feedback. And with the an end result is giving more timely service for our job seekers. So how do you get started? Well, you will have been selected to provide customized employment services to a new project participant, and that means you are given an authorization to begin services. Then use the link that you see on the screen. We will also make sure you have that link available to you through either your team lead, through your consultant assigned to you, through Tricia Jones-Parkins or Kelly Hess. We just want to make sure that you have the information that you need in order to register. And then when you do register, there's going to be a document that you need to read which outlines the expectations. And we want to make sure that not only you read it, but that your supervisor reads it, because we're going to ask you to click a button that says that you understand that there is some timeliness to this product, and that we want you and your supervisor both to know that you need to be released from responsibilities so that you can do this process quickly for that one job seeker. So we're going to start immediately, as soon as you begin working with any of the students in the School to Work project, or any new adult who might be receiving customized employment services. We want you to start immediately. We have already seen that some people have begun the process and have not been submitting their discovery staging records yet. So please realize that we're expecting that from everyone involved in the projects, the School to Work projects or with the DSPD projects. You as a staff person may have multiple discovery staging record submissions to complete, because you might have a couple of people that might work for different school, students that might be from different school districts, or you may have some students who are new to the project this year, or you might be working with the DSPD project. So you will have various start dates with your DSRs due to those differences in authorizations. The goal, of course, is to have at least 2 discovery staging records reviewed and approved by Griffin-Hammis staff before you should complete a DSR without review. So please keep in mind that we are expecting those to begin. We would like to see those. I have some individuals who have already registered, and we thank you for that. So we expect that you will complete the assigned readings and materials. And it's really a discovery refresher from the ACRE training. Some of you who received that training a year ago, maybe a couple of years ago, or 6 months ago. We know that this discovery portion of that training is early on in the training. It's just a way for you to remember what you are supposed to do throughout each stage. We expect that you will do a minimum of 40 hours of field work, that the time that it takes for you to go out and do the activities of the discovery process and then to document your work, you will probably be doing more than 40 hours to complete this process within that 12-week time frame. It certainly can be done quicker. We expect that you will keep time logs. There is a place in the discovery program for you to track the work that you're doing. This is going to be very important to us as we review the time that it takes for people to complete this work. It's valuable data for our funders as well. You will submit your discovery work on your discovery staging record, 1 stage at a time, for your mentor's review and approval. It doesn't mean that you can't jump ahead. We all know that sometimes you might do an informational interview ahead of the process of completing all the interviews, but just realize that we want you to learn the process first. So that's why we only open 1 stage at a time. And we expect that it's completed in 12 weeks, no longer. So once you start, you register, the clock starts ticking. Your consultant will be looking to make sure that you're meeting the submissions on time, but realize it can be less. It certainly, those of you who are more seasoned may be able to complete this process much more quickly. These are the stages. The timeline to complete the discovery is this 12 weeks period of time or less. And you will see this in a written document that's available for download in the program that outlines all the pieces. So obviously in week 1, you have some preliminary steps. You want to make sure that you've got your authorization. We want you to read and review the assigned materials in that introduction, because it's going to give you a refresher about the whole customized employment process. The documents that will be included in that section also include the Vocational Themes Workbook, and then you'll also have a copy of the current discovery staging record. Review that record, make sure you understand it and remember it well, and then move on. And so obviously the first week you start that preliminary steps. You could also start your home visit and neighborhood observations. We give this range of weeks because we know things may overlap. The next stage 2 is when you interview other people, and then you will complete that stage and upload it after you have already completed and uploaded the discovery, home visit, and neighborhood observations. And you just go through each of the stages as you'll see here on this outline. So let's move forward a little bit. We want to make sure that the idea behind this is that you will review the content on the portal for each of your stages. I've just put stage 1 in here. You'll do this for every stage. There's some readings, there's some example questions, there's also an example of a well-written component of that stage for each of the 6 stages, so that you have an example in front of you. There's a place for you to document. You're going to document that on your Discovery staging record, which you will save on your computer. You'll upload that into the online portal, and then you're going to get feedback from your mentor, and either that mentor will accept it as approved, or they will give you some feedback. Typically it's done on the document itself through track changes. So you open it and look at what their suggestions are, maybe positive, good comments. It also could be some requests for additional information, and you'll go back and forth with your mentor until it's approved, and then the next stage opens. This is a trifecta of assistance for you. Obviously, you'll have this online platform, this mentoring platform, to help you. It's more to help guide you through the process and to review your written documentation. And you'll also have on-site technical assistance. It's through the School to Work project. You'll have Ashley and me. They're available throughout the year to provide you assistance in completing home visits, and completing the discovery activities and observations, helping with informational interviews, as well as beyond discovery. We'll be there to help you with job development and all other aspects of customized employment. But also, don't ever hesitate to give us a phone call or emails, whatever you might need to help you move forward. And where do you do this? We're going to do this through the Griffin-Hammis Discovery Mentoring online program portal. So next we're going to do a walkthrough, and I'm going to show you that process. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to use that link that I showed you earlier. We will make sure that you have that link through your team lead or through any of us who are the leadership of the project. This link that you will receive takes you to a page that looks like this. This is the Utah Discovery Mentorship Program registration page. And in this, it is all of the information about you and your supervisor. And you need to complete all screens, all blanks in this on the screen. At the top, you'll see this right here where it says, by checking this box, I certify that my supervisor and I have downloaded and read the mentorship program description, understand the timelines and expectations, and commit to completing the requirements of the 12-week mentorship program. Remember, it can always be done quicker than 12 weeks, but we're expecting that it is completed within 12 weeks. You will hit that button, that mentorship program description, the blue line, and it will bring you that document, and you should print it off and read it. You do not have to sign anything. It's the clicking of this box that verifies that you have read that. And then once you click finish, that will take a few seconds, maybe up to a couple of minutes, and you will receive an email. And that email will give you the link to the mentorship screen. So here is an example of the email that you will receive. Let's see if I can find my email. And the email looks like this. It will be a welcome to you. It will contain a login URL. And from this point forward, you will use this login, not the one that you used for registration. And so you'll click on this login, and you will want to save this on your screen so you will always have it available. You will log in by using your email, and then you are given the password right now, which is change me. And once you've clicked that on, entered that data, it will prompt you to change that after you log in to a password that is meaningful to you. So once you've logged in, you're going to be asked to select your initial job seeker. Remember, you're going to register for this program because you have a job seeker ready to start with. You will be asked to select for that job seeker the mentor that you will be working with. So if you are working with Ogden School Districts, Murray, Jordan School District, or Spectrum Academy, you will select Patty Cassidy as your mentor. If you are working with Carbons County School District, Salt Lake City School District, Wasatch, or Provo School Districts, you will select Ashley Lance. And if you are working with an adult job seeker who is not a student in the School to Work program, you will select Doug Crandall. And so when you see the next screen, you'll see the selection process and how that works. So now we're going to log into the mentorship program. And I'm going to put in my email, and I'm going to type in the words "change me," which is now it says, you must change your password in order to continue. My current password is change me, and I'm going to add my new password, one that's meaningful to me. So now it says to begin the program, I'm going to need to add my job seeker. So I'm going to choose, because for example, I'm going to be working with Wasatch or Provo. I'm going to choose Ashley Lance. This is my first job seeker. And I'm going to add job seeker. So from this point forward, for this job seeker number 1, it will always highlight that I'm working with job seeker number 1. You can't add the person's name in there, but you should be aware of, and your mentor will be aware of, that this is the person you're working with when they open the discovery staging record. So for every one of the stages, you have specific information with a drop-down menu here on the left that will open up all of these screens, all of these drop-down menus that you see in this gray box. So beginning with this first thing, we want you to look at the preliminary steps. This is the introduction. Okay, the screen that we're on, the introduction. And we want you to start with preliminary steps, which is this view right here. So you can either click on preliminary steps here, or you can click on view here. So let's click on view. And in the preliminary steps, you will see 4 highlighted areas, and each one contains a drop-down menu. We expect that you will go through and read all of the content. That's why it's provided to you, for you to be able to manage and follow this program. So the first line on the preliminary steps is to read the assigned course materials. There are 3 listed course materials here. One of them is the Customized Employment Plan Design Guide, which is going to help you remember what the whole process of customized employment is, with an overview of the process of discovery initially. The second document is the Vocational Themes Workbook. You can click on this link and you can view it online, or you can save it or download it and print it, however you wish to do that, so that you have that thinking tool that helps you to plan those task-based discovery activities. Remember, this isn't meant to be something done by yourself. It's useful in your team to help you complete this process with the members of your customized employment team for your job seeker. And then the third item here is the Discovery Mentorship Tasks and Activities list. You will not see all of these discovery stages opened yet until you complete stage 1. You won't see the remaining stages. So this is a list, and if you click on this, it will bring up this document. Just take a few seconds here. And it will provide you all of the steps of what you're expected to do in this discovery process. So I would suggest that you open this document and read it. And it outlines the same things that you see on the screen, but it breaks it open for all the specifics. So preliminary steps, stage 1, it's going to give you all the steps that you're going to do. You're going to enter your notes, all the stages, and it kind of outlines everything that you're going to be completing. So I would encourage you to print that off and keep it with you. Stage 2, review the DSR. This is the most current DSR that we have right now. As we complete and update the DSR, we will always change it out here. Right now we're working on a version just to clean it up a little bit and make it easier to use. But this is the document that you will use throughout this program. So you will upload this document, or excuse me, you will download this document, put the job seeker's name in it, and you will save it in a file under that job seeker's name, job seeker number 1, or however you wish to name that document. And it's going to be the one that you will continue to use back and forth. So as your mentor approves it, you will then use that same document to add the next stage. The next stage is to make sure that you have a confirmed job seeker, that you have a team ready to go, and that we ask that you get release of information forms for Griffin-Hammis so that you are allowed to share your information with us. Make sure that you also have on that document a permission to take pictures and video to document your work, because you are going to need to be able to share that video and photo information with an employer and as well as with us as you complete that final stage. And then the last stage, the last step of this preliminary is to record your time spent on working on this stage. So what we're doing is along the process, at the end of every one of these stages, you're going to add a time log to track what you're doing. And so for preliminary steps, you are going to add a time log entry. There's some examples here in this block, and you'll see the same block for every one of the stages. That you will be able to arrange discovery activities. You can write narrative in the discovery staging record. You could be making revisions. You could be taking pictures, whatever it is. Under this preliminary step, you might be getting signed release forms. So here's add a time log, and you'll do this for each stage. Today's date, a brief description, went to job seeker's home to get signed releases. Activity type is documentation. I did it at the job seeker's home, and you'll have a drop-down choice of my office or your agency's offices, job seeker's home, or the job seeker's community, or other. And then the time it took. So I'm going to say it took me 20 minutes to sit down, explain it to the job seeker and their family, and add it to the time log. I might want to add another one. I might want to add that it was, let's see, that today's date, and it was travel time. Travel to job seeker's home. Activity type is a meeting. Location, job seeker's home. And travel time was 15 minutes. I could have added that also to the previous one. There was an activity and a travel time. I should have done it in that version. Oops, minutes. The activity time was 15 minutes. Okay. So that's an example of what you'll do throughout each stage. So let's begin with stage 1. So again, we have 7 steps now that are expandable to give you content. So number 1, it's to schedule and complete your initial home visit. This gives you some lengthy narrative that kind of refreshes your training that you received earlier. It describes what the home visit is about, how it's not about asking people questions about what job do you want or where would you like to work, but really spending some time getting to know the person in a more personal way. And it gives you examples of how to get a conversation going, to ask questions, or to use the tell me about questions. Spending time with the individual, and if they're unable to speak on their own behalf or speak to answer these questions well, including other people who know the person well to answer these questions. Practicing smooth listening. And it gives a series of questions that you might be interested in using and formulating to help you through that process. So that content is available for you to help refresh you, refresh your memory. Next is to complete a neighborhood visit. And again, there's some more narrative. It's not just about the geography of the community, but it's also about the clubs and associations, the connections, the civic and religious associations that people may have in their lives. Being able to complete that neighborhood visit, but is also to about the social connections that a person has. During this process, you're going to be asked to identify at least 2 other people who need to be interviewed or should be interviewed. And they're important people to the person's life, people who love and care about them. If they're already in the home visit, you may already have that content in your rich narrative you're going to write for your home visit. But if not, you want to go back, or you might choose to have them in the home visit, and then you also might want to come back and interview them again later. But in the next stage, we're going to ask you to interview others, and so we want to make sure that you have at least 2 other people. Interview as many people as is necessary to help you get a clear, what we call a 360-degree view of this person, not just from one perspective, but from many, many perspectives. Stage 4, we're asking that at the beginning, early on, that we start to think about getting benefits planning information. For some people, that's requesting a benefits planning query. For others, it's getting a benefits specialist to come in and provide the data to students in the school districts. But whatever process you choose, it's important that you find out the information about impact of earnings on their public benefits, but also any kind of eligibility for any kind of work incentives that could be of importance to know about as you're starting job development. The second thing you're going to be looking for is any kind of opportunity or need for referral for an assistive technology assessment for an individual who may have need for adaptations to work sites, to communication, anything that might help that individual to achieve employment and to have the assistive tech that they might need. So consider that in that process as well. Now you're going to enter your notes into the discovery staging record, stage 1. So you're going to go to your computer, you're going to pull up that discovery staging record, and you're going to enter that data, that information, that narrative as descriptively as possible. Write down what you've learned. And here's an example below of a quality home visit notation. This version is in some ways maybe more succinct, maybe short sentences, and other people might write more lengthy sentences. It's each up to you for your style, but spell check, make sure that you're being respectful, ensure that you're being positive without glossing over any issues. And here's a written example for you to use for some additional knowledge about how you should write. Then number 6 is you're going to upload that. So you will have saved that discovery staging record on your computer. And when you have finished that job seeker's stage 1, you're going to click this button which says select a file. So I'm going to select a file, and it's going to take me to my computer. And in my computer, I will have kept a document, not that file. And I will assume that I have, let's say, this discovery staging record for Provo. I can't remember, I think I chose Ashley. So I'm going to open that. It's going to upload that document. Because there's no pictures in it yet, because I have a little bit of data in stage 1, it uploaded very quickly. What you will see is that it says upload progress 100%, and you're going to see here that you uploaded your document and it's pending review. This will let your mentor know that you have uploaded something, and the system will send an email to Ashley letting her know that I uploaded a document. So Ashley will receive the document. She will then review it and send it back, and it will come back to you with either this document has been accepted or needs revision, and then it will come back to you and you will open the document again and you will look at Ashley's comments and then resubmit it to her, back and forth until it's accepted. Usually it only takes either 0 times or 1 time to make those kind of revisions. And then lastly, again, you're going to be submitting your time log. So in this process, you might jump down here. Maybe you did a home visit and you already added that a couple of days ago. So a few days ago, let's say last Friday, you did a home visit, completed home visit with job seeker. And the activity type was discovery activity. The location was the job seeker's home. The activity time was 1 hour and 20 minutes, for example, and it took me 15 minutes to drive to the job seeker's home. And I'm going to add that time log. Then today, I'm going to add another one. Today, I updated the discovery staging record, and it's going to be documentation. I did that at my office, and I worked on that for 45 minutes, for example. Add that time log. And you will continue to do this as you're looking at how much time you spend on each of the stages. As you can see with the home visit and some writing on the DSR, for just stage 1 I've already submitted 2 hours and 20 minutes. So this is the process that you will complete for each of the stages. If you go to stage 2, you'll note that you cannot move forward because on stage 2 it has not yet been opened yet because I have not had my stage 1 completed. Now, this is meant not to control you or contain your work, but simply to help make you, to ensure that you and the consultant are working together on each stage before you move on to the next. We often see people want to submit a completed DSR, and there's problems that started at the early stages in stage 1 or 2, and the document is not built on a firm foundation. Your consultant can open up future stages for you. If I'm currently working with someone who is waiting for a little bit of information from an interview, so I opened up stage 3 because I know that she wants to get busy working on those discovery visits. So each of these stages will open up all the way through stage 6. They're self-explanatory. I'm going to go back to stage 1 to show you those drop-down menus. Each of the stages will have similar content, and at the end you'll see upload the job seeker's staging record, and you'll see submit the time log. The time log can be completed at any time, and the upload job seeker's staging record for stage 1 or stage 2 or stage 3, each of those will be uploaded when you have completed the activities and you're ready to submit. So at that point you're submitting them to your mentor. If you don't get feedback within a couple of days, send an email or text message to your mentor, reminding them that you've submitted the work. Most of us who work at Griffin-Hammis travel, and it might take us a couple of days, 2 to 3 days, to actually get back to you. Sometimes we can get back immediately if we're in our home offices and not traveling. So please make sure that you're communicating if you're missing some information or you want some feedback or you have any questions. You can use a message feature in this program. There is a feature up here where you can send a message to your mentor. And in this case, my mentor is Ashley Lance. I'm going to compose a message and I'm going to say, help with stage 2. And I might just write some narrative here and submit that to Ashley. And Ashley will get that and she can send it back. You can use that message feature here inside this mentoring program. And you can also just use a simple email that you would normally do with your mentor. So those are some of the features that you have available. So I want to think about, I might be working with a second job seeker. In Utah, you might have a second job seeker, maybe even a third, if you're working with multiple students or new people who are receiving customized employment. So I'm going to add another job seeker. For example, I might be working with Doug Crandall, Doug is working. I'm going to be working with an adult in the system, who's not in the School to Work program, and so I'm going to choose Doug Crandall. I'm going to add that job seeker too. And so now I have 2 job seekers. So when I'm ready to submit my work or begin my work, I'm going to know whether I'm going to work with that student with Ashley, or whether I'm going to be working with Doug Crandall, and I want to know who that person might be. I'm going to be opening that program. So I'm currently working with job seeker number 1. So that's how you begin the process and how you would start working with each of those job seekers. So in the job seeker dashboard is where you will find your job seeker, how to add them, and then switch job seeker is this button here. So I want to begin working with job seeker number 2 with Doug Crandall. Takes a moment and then the whole process opens again. So I'll have those preliminary steps. I will have the review of the materials. I will have the identifying the job seeker and submitting a time log. And then I begin stage 1. So again, I have that same content that I had before. And I can upload the job seeker's discovery staging record and keep my time log for job seeker number 2. And so I have now 2 customized employment job seekers in my program. So thank you all very much. If you have any questions about this program, please contact your assigned mentor, or you can certainly contact me, Patty Cassidy, and I would be happy to help you go through the program. I can do this individually with you. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it does take some time to go through and read the content under each of these drop-down menus. Again, if you have any questions, please contact us immediately. We'd be happy to help. Anything we can do to get you moving and to get your documents uploaded, we will be glad to help. So thanks so much. Bye.